interesting that he kind of niched down specifically on 206 and shifters as kind of two different portions, which they are. You know, when you get into the sport, they are definitely different markets with some overlap at some point. But yeah, so send props out to James. Good dude. He's you know, if you like, he's got the more modern approach to marketing, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, he definitely has a different. Has a different approach than most kart shops. You know, and for those that don't know, I work in the industry, and it's kind of my own joke where I tell people, it's like, yeah, I know how great you are because I was at the race, and I'm going to read the press release on Monday, and I'm going to scan through it and go, yeah, I know how great you were. I was at the race. And James he's definitely taken a different approach, and you know, he has some cool videos on. I don't remember some of the name of the projects he works on. I think one was a ripper that he called it.
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of chuckling. I was like, that's kind of corny. And then I'm watching it, and it's like people are engaging with it because it was different. And, you know, it's like, okay, well, this is out of the box from a traditional karting marketing standpoint, but it works. It's working for him, and he's been able to tap into a different karting market because of that type of marketing. And it should open your eyes when you see guys like that do something different. Just track it and go back and say, is this working? It's like, okay, well, why is it working? What is he tapping into? It's like when you have to have a web page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you have to be on Facebook. You have to be on Instagram. And, you know, who knows? You have to be on Snapchat. It's like, what is the next way to grab people's attention? And
TikTok.
There you go.
Yep.
There's going to be something next to grab people's attention. And James did that, you know, just simply with videos. And all of us have access to it. If you have a smartphone, you have access to video. And it gives you that ability to push content and grab somebody's attention. And you find out what works for you. But
yeah, I think.
So I knew we would ramble.
Oh, we will. And
I never should have upgraded my podcasting subscriptions.
I think people will tune in.
It would have cut us off 5 minutes ago.
That's true. And we would have had to do the 60 minutes to go or 15 seconds to go.
Yep. 60
seconds to go even. That's true. I mean, I think what's interesting is that a little goes a long way. But the other thing, too, is that Facebook, of course, is, the landscape's much more competitive than it was 5 years ago. And it's hard to break through the noise. So it's definitely a process of thinking about, you know, how you're going to craft your content to an extent. I guess the most important thing, you know, for drivers who are looking to break through the noise and attract attention, or for businesses, is and this comes from somebody who's put a Facebook page together that reached 6.5 million people in 1 year. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. Some people know more, but I have a baseline of knowledge. Long story short, it's not about you. Simple as that. It's not about you.
Yep.
It's about you know, at the very least, what you can do for others, or value that you could add. And I know we throw that term around a lot, but, you know, value can be entertainment. You know, it can be something funny. I mean, unfortunately, that's why cat pics and memes are so popular, is because they're funny and they attract attention. And so with our Carpulse Facebook page, you know, kind of our approach has been to mix up content, you know, memes to reach people and to grow audience. And then, if you like, what that does is it gives Facebook an affinity towards your page, you know, kind of warms it up. And then you can put more, if you like, substantive content on there that maybe requires a bit more thought beyond what's on a Facebook page in general.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would say a little goes a long way. Don't make it about you. And that doesn't mean that you can't talk about your accolades, but, you know, what I see a lot of, and as you've said, is just continuous chest beating. And, you know, maybe that's working for some of the top teams. You know, maybe it is, but really, with the folks that I talk with, daily, it's just, it doesn't ring any bells, because to them it's like, I'm not running those tires, I'm not running that event, I don't care. Like how does that help me? What does that do for me is the first response I kind of hear from people, where, again, there's no value for them out of that, because X team won X event with X resources, and you can paint the picture from there.
That's right. I'm going to cut you off.
Winning is not a value proposition, I guess, is saying that you won a race that other people didn't attend, that
I don't think James
people don't care about. I can hear you. I'm just ignoring. I was just trying to belabor the point of view like that. In my experience, based on the folks that I've spoken with, through Kart Pulse and our audience, winning something is not a value proposition, because at any given time, any given weekend, there's probably 50 different winners at least across the nations. It's like, you won something, that's cool, how does that help me?
Yeah, and what I've seen kind of at the local levels lately, and it dawned on me on that Track Magic barbecue day that was at Blue Max a couple months ago. The place was packed for a barbecue for Track Magic guys. I mean, how much of a smaller market could you really target? You're targeting pretty much shifter only. You're targeting an old American chassis brand. Only one brand. It's not like a vintage kart bring any brand. And they pack that place. And walking around the pits, everyone had smiles. There were karts on the track all day long. And ever since that day, I've been telling people, it's like the racing gimmick is kind of dead. Because racing is a gimmick. It's a way to bring people to the track. It's a way to get an entry fee. It's a way to get exposure. But there's so many tracks that are just struggling right now on race day. But they did that type of a marketing event with the Track Magic Owners Group, and it was a huge success.
The biggest takeaway for me from that is that, people don't necessarily go to races. I mean, they do, obviously, many.
There is a segment that there's a segment that the sport targets.
Well, so even
most of their effort.
What I'm getting is that even the people that attend races, ultimately, they're attending events. And I think the reason that Track Magic event works so well is because there's novelty, right?
Yeah.
So, and you see a lot of local tracks running a lot of races. And again, from my standpoint, that removes some of the novelty. Like, if you can just race any old weekend, every weekend, there's no novelty anymore, and that doesn't make it, if you want to say, exclusive event. But that's, and even, I mean, if you look at like karting and look at almost any other kind of event, that's how it works, right? I mean, if you look at the Indy 500, it's well attended still, and it's got exclusivity. There's some, if you like, there's almost some scarcity about it. It's a one-shot deal. How can you do that at the club level? I mean, that's a tough one to call, because if you decide to have less races, then undoubtedly folks may go to other kart tracks that are, equal distance. And that's, it's a tough one to call. But, my thought is, if you've got less races to run, you've got less weekends, you've got to, your racers have to find time off work or off school. Same applies to your volunteers and your staff, and your marketing and administrative efforts can be focused on those events. And, I see this in road racing too. There's 20, 25 races across the US, and they're just stacked on top of each other. It's gotten a lot better this year, though. To be fair, a lot of the organizations have come together. But, that's my 2 cents on it, is that I think what I've seen with some tracks is that they cater to the racers that want to and are able to race every single weekend. And the downside to that is that the novelty is lost for everybody else. It's like, and of course there's budget, implications and all that. But if it's something that has novelty, people are more likely to try and find the money or try and find the time. That's my
Agree. Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for this Briggs weekend out at Blue Max. No, not weekend. Sorry, Sunday, September.
Sunday.
I don't have a radio voice, and I don't have a TV face.
Right. What was it? September 8th? Sunday, September 8th at Blue Max Kart Club.
There you go.
An unprecedented karting experience. Is that good enough?
Close
Did I
enough.
do good?
Yeah, close
Right.
enough. Yeah.
I mean, it was worth every penny we paid.
That's right.
So, I mean, these things are great, and in a way, I think, again, their importance is kind of missed, because there are definitely folks that are, even with the 206 class, they feel like they're struggling, right? And they need some help to understand, and sometimes it's, frankly, they need a kick in the ass to realize that their driving is what needs to be adjusted, not their flow height, not their tire pressures, not their front track width, but they just need to drive differently. And this is a good opportunity for them to learn that.
Oh, it's a great opportunity. Yeah, and then it also gives the club exposure, where I've seen it a couple of times this year where different promoters are trying to grab the attention of either a new racer for their type of racing or just new members for their track. And the attitude is, it's a race day, just come on over. And
oh boy, I could go on a rant for that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us that have been around it for so long, we forget what day one was like. And I have a different perspective now that my daughter is 7, and I'm trying to get her in a go-kart. She's the one that wanted the kart. We're trying to get her in it. And I didn't start karting till I was 19. And I remember the first day out, I was out in a kart at 19. And I remember, there's definitely is intimidating. It was different. It's like, man, what do I do? And then here I am junior dadding out on my, at the time, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second. I had to take a step back and go, she's 6 at the time. And here I am, a junior dad. And it made me kind of realize, like, wait, some of these events, we need beginner days, we need introduction days, and we don't need more race events. There's plenty of race events. We need more karting events that are very specific to what we're trying to accomplish. If we're trying to get new people in, then let's set up a new day. It's newbies only, and we bring out some of our pro guys to help out, bring people up to speed, lead follows, get basic not overhaul, but a basic rundown on the chassis, make sure it's safe. This is what you're looking for, checklist, this is what you need at the track. And from NorCal Karters, you're going to see more of that for next year. It's already in the works as far as scheduling stuff out. But again, there's plenty of events. I don't want to be a race promoter. That's got to be the second worst job in karting next to tech. But
yeah, it's pretty thankless.
It is. I mean, it's like you're gonna. Everyone's always mad at you. You're gonna piss off somebody. I think most promoters have the right interest. They want to promote the sport. They want more people, etc. But yeah, it's definitely a thankless position. But yeah, again, Blue Max Kart Club, Sunday, September 8th, Briggs and Stratton, LO206, however you want to call it, Masters Test and Tune Session. Again, that's out at Davis. And they actually have a club race the following weekend as well. So for those of you that are looking to get into it or have questions, that'd be a great day to come out. Because race days, like James said earlier, typically are terrible for that kind of stuff. Because we all just get caught in that moment of racing and getting ready for the next heat or doing something. But a test and tune, that's a great day to come out.
Right. Do we want to dive into a bit of a marketing divergence here?
Nah.
Oh,
that'll be a separate one.
It was really a rhetorical question. Oh. Well, I was going to talk about, and I'm going to do it anyway, actually. I'm taking over your show.